Welcome to this presentation on local and regional foods. I'm Julie Fox with The Ohio State University. This is just a brief presentation, an overview of some of the things that are happening with local foods here in Ohio. Different people define local foods differently. Some do it based on number of miles, a specific county area, what's happening in the state. Other people look at developing a local food system based on the percentage of local foods that they buy for their business or their school. Other people talk about buying fresh and going direct so that they have that relationship established with their local farmer. This brief presentation will talk about the benefits, what's happening in Ohio, and some resources. There's a lot of information on this brief presentation, so just know that if you need the resources, they'll be available on our website. Some of the benefits include consumer satisfaction with nutritious and delicious food. Businesses benefit, specifically farms, can improve their profitability and viability. There's local community and economic development. Environmental impacts are positive. Social benefits are gained by building local relationships. So there are a lot of good things that can happen from a local food system. So who's buying or who's selling here in Ohio? Farmers are selling at roadside stands and at on-farm markets. They're also selling at a growing number of farmers markets. In addition to that, there's a growing number of wineries here in Ohio, now more than 120. And there's also produce auctions. Some farmers also sell through CSAs, which is community-supported agriculture, which is subscription or membership farms. But in addition to that, there's backyard and market gardeners, grocery stores and institutions are selling and serving local, there's cooperative marketing efforts, chef-grower networks, and also a growing number of local and regional food systems or initiatives that are selling the local food message. So who's buying? Consumers and businesses are buying. Some colleagues from Maine campus have reported that over 75% of Ohioans report purchasing farmer food products directly from a farmer. So there's growing interest when it comes from the consumers, all looking for that good taste, the freshness, the health, helping the local economy and the relationships they have with local farmers. Businesses are also buying. Caterers and restaurants, convenience and grocery stores, both large and small. Government agencies, schools, institutions, and food banks and pantries are all looking at local. So who's buying what? They're buying a variety of produce, that fresh fruits and vegetables and herbs, eggs, meat and dairy, flour and other value-added products, cut flowers and bedding plants, and also some new interesting products here in Ohio. In addition to the product itself, they're also buying particular attributes, whether that would be organically produced or other things that the consumer or other buyers really interest and value. When it comes to what they value, some farmers are also including recipes, newsletters, other value-added things for consumers, special packaging if that's important to a business buyer. So they're buying the product as well as a lot more. I think the important thing when it comes to who's buying and who's selling is really finding that right match so that what the buyer wants and what the seller provides, the capacity that they have, really match. How they define local, they have that definition and that framework in common. Because that definition and what the buyer wants and what the producer can provide influences the product variety and selection, the packaging, and other things that make it a good match. Great things are happening here in Ohio. Neighborhoods are developing local food systems. Different counties are developing local promotions. Regions are coming together to promote local foods and develop local food systems. Here in the state, a number of good things are happening, including a Governor's Food Policy Council and 4 different task forces working on some projects, and a list of other things that you can find on our website. There's also some national resources that can help with businesses and communities looking at developing local and regional food systems. But be aware there are potential traps. It's important that we all question our assumptions. It's not necessarily true that all things local are good or that all things global are bad. So step back for a minute and look at the production systems of a local food system and make sure that they are sustainable. Also look at the local infrastructure and see how we can be efficient so that we're not having unintended environmental impacts, that we really have the efficiencies that make a local food system good for the environment. Progress here in Ohio, public interest is growing. There are more and more direct markets making food accessible. There are lots of positive local food movements and the Food Policy Council that I mentioned. Some things that we're working together on statewide are that we're developing new resources to develop market for distributing, financing, evaluating local food systems. We're also developing some stories so that people can learn from one another, developing resources to provide assistance and collaboration for people that are working in the food system, developing that infrastructure so it can be efficient, making sure that it's linked to food safety and security, and measuring and reporting all the good things that are happening here in Ohio. Your next steps, if your business or community is looking at developing local foods, is make sure you understand your definition, develop your local partners, find that match, the matches that fit, find the resources that best fit your needs. There's a lot of good information out there. Look at what matters, measure that, so that you can continue to build a sustainable local food system. If you'd like more information, this is my contact information. The website with all of these resources and much more is at directmarketing.osu.edu. Good luck with your local food system.